everyone, welcome to Empress LinkUp. I'm Ali.
I'm Georgia.
And I'm Jamelia.
And today our topic is on gender roles. Now it's so controversial and the definition is kind of elusive because there's this blurred lines about what is gender roles. Is it socially constructed or is it biological? What do you guys think?
Well, it's definitely norms set by society almost, so where kind of like traditions passed on where most of us were taught, okay, gender roles for women is to be domesticated and take care of the home, be the nurturers, child bearers, and then the men are supposed to be the providers and take care of, the fields or farming or, outside work, the more labor.
Yeah, the physical work.
Yeah. But nowadays I see a lot of women doing both, or vice versa. If they don't have a woman in the home, then a man compensates for a lack of a woman in the household where he does both even. So the norms are definitely shifting in comparison to what we were taught. So
But I feel like a lot of what we were taught is just like universal law, almost like
natural.
Women can nurture a child and a man can't. So it's not only things that we were taught, it's things that that's the way life is, And I feel like a lot of people nowadays, for some reason, want to just like switch the roles. I don't understand why. I feel like women should be women and men are men, and it's not that I don't know why people feel unequal, like women and men are not equal. You know what I'm saying? It's certain things that men do that, not that we can't, but let them do it. And let us do what we do.
We're different for a reason.
Yeah, we're different for a reason. We're opposites. It's like two pieces to a puzzle. If me and you always do the same thing, we don't balance each other out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I never understood why people feel like there has to be like a competition between the roles, and then now everybody wants to combine them and switch things up, and things get confusing.
So that's the thing, with us being like geared towards certain roles already because of upbringing and everything. Do you think that our behavior was altered that way, or it's a natural thing? You get what I mean? Like, all right, say if we grew up in a society where men did the opposite, like where gender roles were reversed, do you think that you would still feel that same way?
But why would we grow up in a society where...
Well, no, because there are societies out there that have that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So do you think you would, like...
Oh, you're saying if it was different,
that,
that would be like the norm to me.
Yeah. So do you think that you would look at it the same way and say, oh, this is, the opposite of how I feel? Like, would you still feel the same way?
That's a good question. It would be hard because this is what you know. Like,
yeah. So then in a sense it is socially constructed in the sense of depending on your culture and depending on where you grew up, there's this kind of expectation of, how you're supposed to act versus how a man is supposed to act.
Yeah.
But then I also think that there are certain things that's just natural, like you said.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Of gender deciding the rules, or
no. But this is what I mean. I don't think like if like men and women we can switch the rules. Like, we have the ability to learn certain things, right? Obviously, men can't breastfeed because they don't have breasts.
Of course.
Roles that we can go out and work and stuff. But just because I don't do it, I don't think that I'm not equal to him.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
That's where it gets confusing.
Exactly.
Because people think women, especially there's a lot of like stay-at-home moms that at some point in time she wants to get up and go out. Just because she want to be able to say like, oh, I can bring income into the house also. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's just wanting to just do something else and being able to prove yourself in a different fashion. And if you're not doing what a woman is supposed to do, that's gonna trickle over to what men are supposed to do.
So where does the topic of inequality come in?
I guess where some women still want to have the same, I won't say rights, but be able to do the same thing as men, like in terms of, I feel personally, I subscribe to gender roles to my convenience, mainly because I have a son, and me and his father, we don't live in the same household. It's two separate households. So there's times where his father might have to work, and I have to play the nurturing role, and then vice versa, where I have to work, and his father has to take on the more quote-unquote feminine gender role now, where he has to nurture our son the times when I'm away. So I don't think it's a matter of me telling him, oh, you have to be the woman for this time being. It's just a matter of you. Exactly. Yeah. So
I think a lot of women can argue the point, or men too, because there's cases where men have to do what women do, but I think a lot of women can argue the fact that it's not necessarily that they wanted to do the man's role, they had to. Because when you have children and then they get left with the children by themselves, somebody has to do something. So I feel like a lot of people bring gender roles and make it such a big topic is because they're probably, it's through frustration, now they have to pick up the role of a man.
I think it all comes down to respect, and the key word that you said was have to or had to. When you start putting those words into it, it becomes kind of oppressive. If you have an understanding in your relationship that, you know, this is, personally, I have my own gender role or, you know, definitions in my relationship, but it's all about respect. You know, like, okay, you can do this, I'll do this, but you're not more than me. And I'm not more than you. It's a respect and balance thing. And I think when it becomes that, oh, I'm higher than you, that's when it becomes problematic.
Yeah, because I feel like I've seen my father go through, and like where he wasn't able to work because he was injured. So he became the one that was doing my hair sometimes, or my mom was going out to work, and then he would cook and everything. And I never looked at it as weird. I was just like, oh, my daddy's doing my hair for me because mommy has to go out and work. And he was the one sewing our clothing and everything. And I didn't think anything was weird, but it was more so because their roles were interchangeable. Where she was like, okay, so I come home. When my mom came home, she was right back in the mommy seat, you know. And then my father was like, all right, let me go figure out how I could hustle a little bit. But he couldn't be out in the work field as you know, able as he was before, you know. So.
But that's where the disrespect comes in, because you have a lot of people where if they're bringing in the income into the household,
they have an ego.
They get an ego and they feel like they're more.
Better.
That's sometimes that's what can throw the balance off. Because if you're a woman that's at home and you're cooking, you're cleaning the house, you're taking care of the children, that's a job. That's a 24/7. That don't end. You get what I'm saying? And so if she starts out feeling okay, like this is what I'm doing, you know, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and then she has a partner that makes her feel less, that can just throw the whole equation off.
Yeah.
So everybody's situation at home is different. Yeah,
it's true. Have the men who compete in a beauty contest where they're trying to impress the women. The women are the judges, so they pick their husband or their lover based off of how he's dressed, and you know, and I believe some of the men do makeup, but I think it's more tribal, not the tribal type of makeup. So it's like, you know, he's painting his face a certain way and everything. Now, women, we're used to getting spruced up, whatever, not always for a male's attention, but you know the reality of it. And then men usually don't really have to go out of their way for that. But now it's funny to see men compete in this way. So it's like watching the roles change, you know.
I mean, in my anthropology class a long time ago, I can't remember the tribe, but it always stuck with me throughout the years of something similar where the men would, you know, gossip and dress up and put on makeup and, you know, all of that stuff. And then the women would be the ones who would go out and do the labor. And it was so, that never left me because it was so different from how I viewed gender roles. But it's like, who makes these rules as to what is, what should be and what shouldn't be?
Well, when I did some of the research, I was surprised to see some of the different cultures, because, you know, when we think of a lot of African cultures, we're taught like, oh yeah, the men are super masculine and the women are super gentle and, you know, more docile and stuff. But there were a lot that I was seeing, like the roles were like, you know, were changed, but it wasn't saying that if you're more strong then you're less feminine, or if you're less,
what I'm saying. You can do things like you can switch up activities. Like those things are just activities. You get what I'm trying to say? Like them dressing up and dancing. That's like festivities for them.
But would you like your guy to sit around wear makeup in today?
No, my guy, no.
But I mean, like,
Not my kind of makeup like this. No, tribal is different. Like that's like
sitting
more,
around gossiping while
you
you
know,
go do the work.
No, not my king personally. No.
right?
If I was a
I
part
don't
of
want him
that
to have
tribe,
lashes.
Yeah,
and
probably if it was.
I don't want
that would be normal to
without
me,
mascara
yeah.
and no.
But then
I
there are
don't
also,
want
you know, certain tribes that don't even, you know, subscribe to gender roles, like
Yeah.
the Shambri tribe in
Yeah.
New Guinea. I was reading Yoruba
Yoruba-
people.
yeah, they just believe in
traditionally,
balance.
It's just
They just
there's
believe in that,
no
yeah.
there's no like, oh, you do this, you do that. It just flows.
No, but you have to
So-
understand, they have a different mindset too.
Yeah.
They have the village mindset.
Oh, that's
Yes.
true too.
Everybody's doing everything.
Doing, yep.
Right.
We don't have people that sitting around like, ooh, I'm a man, so I can't do that.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say? They all have the one unit concept. You get here and then it's just different.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
For the
would-
most part, yeah.
I mean,
That's
first in my
interesting.
relationships, I love my men to be.
Yeah,
I
more rough than you when
Yeah.
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't like the
Passive pushover.
I just like rugged, you know, I don't.
I personally, I don't want to come in and see, you know, like I was saying about the makeup and stuff. That whole beauty pageant thing, that's gonna have to hold off for me. I'm not going there picking my mate from that. I'm sorry. We have a problem.
About, yeah, did you, I don't know if you guys read about the article about them switching the whole bathroom. The genders on the bathroom.
Let me come go sleep.
That's a in-depth discussion.
No, that's a different.
We don't have enough time on this episode of Empress LinkUp.
Topic is going done. So
We should wrap this one up.
Anyway,
Next time on
but
Empress LinkUp.
we want to hear what you guys think about gender roles. What are your views? Do you think it's socially constructed? Do you think it's, you know, biological? How do you act in your relationships?
More tribes
Comments.
that,
We want
Yeah.
your interactions. We want to know what you're thinking and all of that.
yes.
Okay. So,
I feel like we had more to say, but
Yeah, we always do though.
it's like, how do you even encapsulate everything?
we're gonna think about that one.